Don't wait for the right time. Make it right by showing up.
Greetings once again from PowerDirector Made Simple. Since posting my last video, I see that CyberLink has been added again. When I click on the camera icon in the upper left, you can see that there was another update which should bring you up to the latest version, 11.12. Now once again, when you install it, there are no visible or noticeable changes. So let's now move on to today's topic. Adding effects directly below clips on the timeline. Now that little update is not mentioned at all from the bullhorn icon for new features in PowerDirector, but it is mentioned when you click on the question mark or help icon to open their web page, What's New in this version. The second item down calls it Add Effects Directly Below Clips on the Timeline. I'm going to quickly show you how it works, and then I'm going to tell you that it doesn't really amount to much. Now stay with me because I'm then going to fire up last month's PowerDirector to show you how it is so very easy to accomplish the same thing before the update was ever issued. Now let's jump in by clicking on Use Sample Media. Holding down the Control key, I'm going to select three items all at once. The Food and Landscape 01 images, and the Skateboard 01 video file. I'll drag all three of them down to the timeline and zoom in a little if needed. Now next I'm going to click on Effects at the top. Contrary to what CyberLink's web page says, not all of the categories will work on images or videos with the new updated method of placing these effects. There are two categories that were the mostly recently added over the past few months, the body effects and the variety show, that just don't work using the new updated method. Otherwise, everything else seems to work. I'm going to start in the light category and scroll down to the bottom and click on the effect called backlight. I'll drag it down towards the timeline. As I get over the first image clip of the food, a large blue plus sign appears, which means I could drop it directly on the clip. There is nothing new about that, as it's been that way for the past 3 millennia. But here is what's new with this update. I'll continue dragging the effect down until I get just past track 1, and suddenly a blue line appears across the bottom of track 1, and I get another blue plus sign. When I drop the effect there, what happens is an effects track gets automatically created to hold the light effect. I'll move the effect all the way to the left so that it starts immediately with the display. Then I'm going to hold the mouse over the right edge until I get that funny looking bracket cursor, and then click and drag to the left, trimming off the clip to make it shorter. I'll repeat all those motions with the same effect and drag it down under the second image clip where I can drop the effect on the same effects track. I'll move it over until it aligns with the second clip. And then I'll trim it down to about half size just like before. Just to see what all this looks like now, I'm going to move the playhead to start and hit play. As it begins to play, the effect has the bright light on the food, but after 2 or 3 seconds, you can see the normal colors of the food image. And then that same process repeats for the landscape image. I'm going to repeat adding the same effect once again, but this time dragging it just under the video clip. As I hold it there over that effects track, it looks like I can also drop it there, so I'll release the mouse. However, the same effect under a video clip instead of an image clip resulted in another effects track getting created. Why? I don't know, but watch this. I'll just grab the effect under the video and drag it to the same effects track with the other effects. There was no reason why it couldn't have been dropped onto the same track as before, but instead, because it was under a video clip and not an image clip like the other effects, the update made it require a new effects track to be created. I'm not sure if there's a bug in the new update because there is no reason why the effects cannot peacefully coexist on the same effects track. I can even create some extra room right now on the timeline by selecting that empty effects track, right-clicking, and choosing Remove Selected Track. And that basically is all there is to this update. Don't everybody stand up and applaud at the same time. Now, rather than fix several user complaints and other annoying problems in the program, CyberLink devoted time and effort to add this as an update, which in my opinion is not really needed because you could have manually added the effects track ahead of time and then drag the effects down to that effects track. I don't understand what they think is being gained. Maybe it saved a few mouse clicks. So now for a little bit of Baldy magic. I'm going to run PowerDirector from a month ago prior to this update. First, I'm going to exit out of this current version of PowerDirector, and I'm not going to save any of this. Now, using a file explorer, I am in the PowerDirector installation folder in Program Files on the C drive. You can notice all these folders marked as copy from the previous versions. I am definitely not recommending that you make these copies, but it just gives me the chance to rerun an older version of PowerDirector without going through CAM to uninstall the current one and then download and reinstall an older version. All I do is to make a copy of the current installation folder, and I am able to run any of the older versions that I want if I ever want to look back and see how something used to appear or how it used to work. In this case, I'm going to open the folder from October marked as version 10.03. I'll scroll down somewhat until I see the big blue PDR executable icon. And then I'm going to double click on that to run that version of PowerDirector. The launcher runs and I'll just click on New Project. When the program opens, I'll click on the camera icon in the upper left, and there you can see I am now running version 10.03. I'll close that window and then click on Use Sample Media. I'll select the same 3 clips as before and place them on the timeline. And I'll zoom in just like before. I'll go and click on the Effects menu at the top and then Light along the left side. From the older list of effects now shown, I'll click on the same backlight effect and I'll drag it down to the timeline. As I hover over the clip, I get the same blue plus sign indicating that I could drop it directly on the clip. But as I slowly move it down a little further, all I get is that red slash mark. When I try to drop the effect on an empty track, I get the warning window from PowerDirector telling me that the effects must be dropped either directly on a clip or on an effects track. I'll click OK. Now I'll just manually add an effects track by myself. I'll click on the Track Manager icon to the left and just above the timeline. When the Track Manager window opens, I'll change the top one to 0. And then down at the bottom, I'm going to add one effects track below track 1. And then click OK. Now look closely at the timeline, and there is the newly created effects track right under track 1. Now I'll drag the backlight effect and place it on the effects track under the first clip and trim it down to half size. I'll repeat these same actions and place it below the second image on the same effects track. Now, if I try to place the effect below the video clip, Will it allow it there, or will it insist on creating another effects track like what happened with the new update? Well, here we go. Nope, no problem. No extra track was created, and it took only 3 mouse clicks to actually add an effects track. Well, I suppose if you save 3 clicks here and 3 clicks there, pretty soon you got a whole bunch of mouse clicks in your pocket. You can continue to use the new update, and if you want, you can create that effects track yourself ahead of time and throw caution to the wind when it comes to mouse clicks. In doing so, over the next 10 years, you might be wasting, 10, 12 seconds. You be the judge about this new update. In my opinion, yes, it does work, sort of, but was it really necessary? Well, that's all there is, and there ain't no more. I doubt if anybody is going to have any questions about this particular updated feature, so I'll just say this. Hit that subscribe button and leave me a like while you're at it. Thanks to everyone for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Could have been the whiskey, might have been the gin, could have been the 3 or 4 6-packs, I don't know. But look at the mess I'm in, my head's like a football. I think I'm gonna die. Tell me, oh my, wasn't that a party? Someone took a grapefruit, wore it like a hat. I saw someone under my kitchen table talking to my old tomcat. They were talking about a hockey. The cat was talking back. Along about then everything went black. Wasn't that a party? I'm sure it's just my memory playing tricks on me. But I think I saw my buddy cutting down my neighbor's street. Could have been the whiskey, might have been the gin, could have been the 3 or 4 6-packs, I don't know. But look at the mess I'm in, my head's like a football. I think I'm gonna die. Tell me, oh my, wasn't that a party? Well, they went a little far. They were sitting in my backyard blowing on a siren from somebody's police car. So you see, Your Honor, it was all in fun. That little bitty track meet down on Main Street was just to see if the cops could run. Well, they run us in to see you in an alcoholic haze. I sure can use those 30 days to recover from the party. Could have been the whiskey, might have been the gin, could have been the 3 or 4 6-packs, I don't know. But look at the mess I'm in, my head's like a football. I think I'm gonna die. Tell me, oh my, wasn't that a party? Could have been the whiskey, might have been the gin, could have been the 3 or 4 6-packs, I don't know. But look at the mess I'm in, my head's like a football. I think I'm gonna die. Tell me, oh my, wasn't that a party? Wasn't that a party? Wasn't that a party? Wasn't that a party? Ooh.